Witch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching another episode of Every Which Way. This time featuring author Lenora Henson for the second time. The first time I interviewed Lenora, she was in the process of writing her debut novel, The Wicked Garden. And this time, she is ready to release this baby into the world. And basically, this whole interview is me just being like, oh, I love it so much, I love it, I love it, I love it, because I just finished the book last night. And I have to say that if you are a fan of witchy fiction or really complex, interesting, strong female protagonists, you are going to love this book. It is such a good read. And the good news is it's just the first of 6. So it's like a journey that you get to keep going on and keep experiencing, which I'm so excited for the next book to come out. And I think she's doing that later on this year. But anyway, if you're not a big reader, I still think this interview is valuable because it's really about one woman's journey of determination and seeing something through, seeing a big dream through to its completion. And I just think that's such a beautiful example for us all, and it's got me so fired up. So without any further ado, here she is, Lenora Henson, the author of The Wicked Garden. Hi, Lenora! Welcome back to Every Which Way.
Hi, Joanna.
I am super duper 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 excited. I could just hug you through the screen because look what I finished last night.
Oh, you finished it?
Last night, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all this interview is going to be. Oh my God.
Yay.
I have to, totally be honest. I was so enthused about you last year when I came across you, and I just had this feeling like this girl is going to go for it. She's going to do it. And I was so excited to interview you. And I was counting down to the book. And then I had this one moment one day where I was like, what if it totally sucks? And I publicly have been championing this book that I haven't even read yet. So when I got it, I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. She's amazing. She did everything that she said she was going to do. So yay. And that was just one little moment of doubt I had where I just went
I had that myself, so many times.
Oh, you rock. And you're so wicked. I can't believe that you ended this book on a cliffhanger.
I did.
I mean, you end the book nicely, but it's now I have to get the next one.
Yeah. I didn't really mean to do it that much on purpose, but I think if people are really ready for the second one.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And Beltane in a couple days is the official launch, even though people can buy the hard copy now.
It is, and they could also buy on Beltane, they'll be able to buy the Kindle version too. It's been up for a little bit, but I guess my launch didn't really go as planned. I got really excited about it. And I'm really an efficient person, so I kind of got done early. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't expecting to get done that early, but I should have known better with myself.
I have the opposite problem, so mad respects for that. Let's just calmly, since I sort of gushed all over. This is The Wicked Garden by Lenora Henson, who I am talking to right now. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what The Wicked Garden is?
Okay, if I was going to explain it in, I guess it's a paranormal romance for adults is the easiest way to explain it. It's a lot more than that. It is a witchy read. Mm-hmm. It's about a family of witches, and it kind of skips around in time a little bit. We go back to the 15th century. We go to the 70s, the 40s a little bit. But most of it takes place in present time, and it's about healing, and it's about love, and it's about tradition and non-tradition. And loving ourselves through it all. And it's about relationships, too, with family and,
You know what it has that I like? It's actually, I read tons of nonfiction, and I'm always taking notes and stuff, and I kind of do that by day, like it's my job or something. And then at night when I go to sleep, I have this ideal book in my mind of, I just want like something witchy, and I like paranormal, but I like it to be grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. And there has to be a love story, and your book has all of those components. And it's quite the ride. You're also very good, I don't know, like a story spinner. There is a definite story with lots of suspense, lots of intrigue. It's quite mysterious. You're very good at just, you have to keep turning the page because you're like, what is she talking about? Where is this going? You know, and it kind of takes you along the whole ride. You want to keep picking the book up, which is ideal. That's what we all want when we buy a book to read.
Oh, sure. I do a lot of that, and you know, that's throughout the whole series. It'll be that way. I mean, you will get answers along the way for sure.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that moment when you figure something out in a book, and it's like, oh, you know, there'll be a lot of those.
Your characters also are very real. You feel them. They're all flawed, and they're all like the heroes, you know, even the hero is flawed, even the protagonist is flawed, especially the protagonist. Right. But you feel them, and you care about them, and you want to go on this ride with them. So that is amazing.
Yeah, I am very character driven. Mm-hmm. Had a conversation with this morning about who I identified with, I guess, the most, and I see myself in all of them.
Yeah.
Just a little bits and pieces, but yeah, I'm very character driven. I love them.
I love them too. I love Eli.
Isn't he the best? Oh,
I know. And you recently fell in love, and that was actually, I'm not going to dig like all into your personal life here, but you actually like got swept away in this like beautiful romance recently, which is just the cherry on the top of all of the goodness that you've purposely brought into your life through a lot of hard work and effort, and now like you just seem to be in this flow. What I'm wondering is if all of that energy you poured into creating this character Eli maybe like manifested a beautiful romance for you.
I don't know. Not necessarily. I don't know. I think we all have this ideal person in our head, and he's Jim, who is my fiance and who I'm very much in love with right now. He's not necessarily an Eli type. I mean, he's very kind and has a great heart and is very honorable, but he's a little bit stronger than Eli, I think.
That's very good.
You know, like a teddy bear kind of. Right, and very respectable, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't mean like that they were similar, just that you just painted this portrait of a kind of goodness, you know, and
yeah,
I think for me that's how it came off.
Right. Yeah.
So, also, let's tell people there's 6 books in this series, or are there still 6?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, yeah. As far as you know.
Yeah. I mean, when I work with my editor, we did change quite a bit in book 1. But as far as I know, I'm still sticking with the original. I have 5 of the books written, and I think people are like, you know, hurry up and write book 2. Well, book 2 is written. But there are some rewrites that have to be done and some editing. Mm-hmm. So as far as I know, it's still going to be a 6-book series.
And book 2 is coming out Halloween? Possibly?
Yes. As efficient as I am, it may be sooner, but I'm going to stick with Halloween for right now.
That is the beauty of self-publishing.
It really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this time I'm not going to, completely set people up for a launch date. Book 1 was definitely a learning experience the whole way.
Well, those of us who have read the book will be watching your channel and your Facebook to see when the next one's coming out for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and this book is really beautifully made too. I just want to show it again. You actually hired a model and set up this photo shoot, which was so fun because you shared it on your blog. There she is, Lenora. You let people, pick what photo, or at least contribute their opinion, what photo they liked of the photo shoot. You could not pick, this would leap out to me if I was walking through Barnes & Noble. You could not pick a better cover.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's ideal. It's beautifully done. And your editor did a great job. It came together so well.
It did. There were a lot of obstacles along the way, but that's just part of the learning process. Mm-hmm. You just plowed right through them, and
I think this is going to get scooped up at some point. I think it's just going to build a big. That's my prediction. I think the fans are going to come, and then the money people are going to be like, "Hey, we can make money off this chick."
Right.
But at that point, you'll have the power because you created this yourself. You took the initiative and put the book out there. Can you give somebody some tips for maybe, there are so many aspiring writers out there, very few actually follow through and get the book done, much less go through the publishing process. What was it like self-publishing your book?
It was not as scary as I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of steps involved in it. The best advice I could give somebody that would be interested in doing this is to hire an editor for sure. Mm-hmm. That's going to be your biggest expense, but it's going to be you're going to need to do it if you want to put a good product out there. You need another pair of eyes looking at it and working with you on it. But
where do you find an editor where can you find an editor?
I actually, she approached me. We were friends through Facebook on an e-course called The Goddess Temple.
Woohoo! It's a moving puppy.
Called The Goddess Temple through Stephanie Anderson Ladd. We had done this e-course together, and she approached me on doing some editing work because she knew I was working on a book. And, it was, the hardest part was making the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. Stepping off the cliff, making the commitment to myself. And because when I decide to do something, I do it. And, I think it's hard to make a big decision like that. But I think it's when it's your purpose, I think that makes it a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. When you're in alignment with your purpose, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's so important to talk to you again, since we talked, while you were writing it, because it shows, someone following through on one of these things that a lot of people would consider like a pie in the sky kind of dream, things that maybe your family would be like, are you really going to do that with your life, with your time, It's just good to see a strong woman being like, yes, I'm writing this novel, and bam, here it is.
Exactly. And I think I did encounter some of that along the way. Mm-hmm. And I think I think I made a believer out of some people, and that's not what I was trying to do at all, but I think I did. And here it is. Oh, wow, she did it. That kind of thing. So
yeah, you made a believer out of us. I'm one of the believers, just by being yourself, just by doing it. It wasn't so much what you were saying, because there's so much noise, so many people are saying what they're going to do, but there was a different vibe. You were just doing it,
Yeah. And it does. I mean, you can think things to death. You can, you could feel them, but if there's no action, like you said, to follow through, then, just shut up.
Yes, totally. Yeah. This is going to be next to my writing desk. I already have this little stand because it's just personal to me, I don't know why. It just became very personal, your journey to me, and very inspiring.
Well, thank you. And Joanna, you helped me a lot too, because you had that video that really got me started on it, and that really pushed me toward the stepping off the cliff. So thank you.
Well, yay. I hope you inspire me to finish my book as well, because I'm just blown away.
And I'm really excited about your book series too. It's about I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I haven't really told anybody about it yet, but that is what it's going to be about. Thanks, Lenora.
Sorry.
You know what else? I just want to mention a writer named Alora, who is also writing a book, because I've been seeing her, like, go through this. I'm going to send this video to her, because I want her to, like, see you right now, because she's just at the beginning of this journey. But she wrote something on Facebook, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer... what point of view do you prefer? And I said, definitely first person, and I hate when the point of view changes characters. And then your book comes in the mail, and it's in third person, and it's changing characters, and I loved it, And I did, write to her, like, there's always exceptions, to whatever. That's my personal preference. But you did this so well. I didn't mind at all when it went back and forth between the different points of view. It felt very natural and organic.
Good.
How did you come to that decision?
I don't know. I think the characters kind of made up my mind for me, because when I started writing it, I really started writing from Gretchel's perspective. Mm-hmm. But then as I developed Eli, it was like, I really like this guy, and I think people would relate to him better if I told it through his eyes, and then... I met Diana, and she's such a little pickle. That had to be seen through her eyes, too, so.
Yeah, it works great. You even jump back and forth, like you said, between times. And a lot of it takes place in the 90s, which I love, because that's a time that I hold close to my heart. So,
same here.
Yeah, oh, totally. That's another thing that I think made it so personal. You could feel that what you talked about, they were all subjects that you're passionate about. Like, you could just feel that you were just having, like, a romance, with all of these subjects, probably, that obsess you all the time. From the poppies, there's a poppy behind you right now, to... You talk a lot about books. I actually went and Googled Graham Duncan or something, or I went to Amazon. I'm like, well, where's this Hermes and Heat book that she's talking about? And then I'm like,
it's make-believe.
Wow, you totally got me. I went to Amazon to try to find this book.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun coming up with the
book within the book.
The whole concept. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for any of us who like witchy fiction, this is a must-have for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to get witchier too.
So fun. Yeah, there's so many other characters that are interesting. I imagine they're going to kind of maybe step to the forefront in future.
Yeah, I think so. I think Peter is going to have a bigger role, more in the third book, but he will definitely have a bigger role in the second book than he did in the first. I really like Peter a lot.
Yeah, he's crazy and fun.
Yeah. Amy really takes a step forward in book 2 as well, and I have a lot of good response from Amy. I think a lot of
teenagers.
Yeah, I think they can relate to how strong she had to be, and
yeah, I think teenagers also will relate to Gretchel, who I guess I would consider the main protagonist. Not only because you go back to when she was young, like in her college years, but I just think the struggles are very universal, especially to young people, young women.
Right, and hopefully, this will... I've even heard from one person for sure that I know that this book has helped. Somebody has reached out to me that was in some trouble.
Oh.
So yeah, I never thought it would do that. It was like, wow.
The beauty of art.
Yeah.
Well, let's tell people too. We haven't even talked about that. You talk about abuse. There's violence in the movie. We're making it sound like, and I called it a movie just now because it is a movie in my mind. Like I can see,
absolutely. I
see the characters. You describe them without getting really over the top and boring, and then they have a mole on their cheek and this, you say it in just a few words to where you're like, boom, you have a picture in your head of who these people are. But you talk about alcoholism and lots of psychedelic drug use, which is so much fun. Oh my gosh. That part of the book is pretty fun. So what was it like delving into, I don't know, those are two separate issues. What about the addiction? What about the violence and abuse?
This day and age, it's talked about, but I don't think it's talked about enough. And, I guess that's what I'm doing, bringing it to the forefront. We need to be talking about these things because they're huge issues in society today. And people like to put a mask on, and they like to shove it under the rug and not address it, which is what Gretchen did. Just hide behind it. And I just think that the quicker that you start dealing with this, the quicker that you can heal, because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to deal with it.
This would be a great book for somebody who is going through recovery, for sure.
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
I think, too, I don't know how you managed to pull off such dark subject matter without it being depressing. It's not like a heavy, feeling. You feel kind of invigorated by the book and very excited to move forward. There's not a lot of I don't know, gloom and doom. Maybe it was just my state of mind when I read it, but it did not feel like a gloomy book. It feels very energetic and fiery and alive.
Yeah, it does feel that way, and they are really hard topics to talk about, but I think that's what moves the book along too, is, I think the reader can feel like, okay, she's moving out of this, though. She's moving away from it. At least in the present time she is, but yeah, I think there's a sense of hope in the book, maybe.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think that comes in with your character, Eli, but also there's a lot of eccentricity and just some craziness going on that's just kind of delightful, It's like the color. It just colors everything, and it's really...
Yeah, I'm kind of an eccentric person, so I couldn't write a book without putting that kind of stuff in it,
Yeah, Wild Woman. Gosh, now I've forgotten. What is the tag on your blog? Wild
Woman?
Yes, you are a wild woman.
Writer.
It's a wild ride.
No doubt about that.
Is any of this autobiographical, or this is just all living in your imagination?
I can't really answer that question too much. Some of it, I pulled, like I said, every character, there's a little bit of me and their experience in my own life, but some of it's just very little, and I won't say. But no, it's fictional for sure.
Where can people get it?
Okay, right now it is available on Amazon.com. It's through print and Kindle, or ebook. I think you get it through the iPad, the iPhone, lots of stuff, and you can get it locally right now. So. Ooh,
fun! Well, what are the local places? Where can people go pick it up?
Right now, I don't have it distributed yet, but I'm going to have it at Words, Wicks, and Woods, which is a bookstore downtown, and it will be available there soon. You can get one from myself. Just message me. I'm not going to, run around town all the time because I am in the process of moving 2 hours away.
Yes,
I'm a little busy, but I'm not going to turn down selling a book for sure.
You're going to sell a lot of these, and I recommend people get the actual get the book, get the hard copy. It's so beautiful. It's like a little piece of artwork.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your life is just exploding with happiness and goodness. New love, moving to a new town, new book.
Yeah, and I think I had done, or I'm getting ready to do a blog post on this. At the beginning of the year, I was going through a rough patch last year. Toward the end of the December, it was kind of, I'd been working on the book and stuff, and it was all going well, but...
labor pains.
It really was. And so in January, I decided Thrive was going to be my word of the year, and I set some really strong intentions. This is what I want to happen, and this is what I would like to happen. This is, and just some dreams. This is what would be really cool if it happened. And I just sent that out there, a really strong vibe. And I'm telling you what, in the middle of January, I met Jim to begin with, and it was just like things just, we believe in magic, and it's all intention setting. It's all what you put out there.
Oh, you know what is so eerie? I just, while I was getting ready this morning, I listened to our last interview that we did, and you said things seem to happen for you in January and February.
They absolutely do. It changes. And it's a pattern. It's almost like, it's that, I hate to start talking about Persephone and Demeter again, but it's definitely that Persephone, coming back from the underworld, or, like the groundhog, but, checking for her shadow, is it time to come back yet? But that's about the time things really start changing for me. And they did, and it just took off, and I've had the most amazing spring, and I am so utterly grateful.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful that I got to feel like a little part of this journey. It's been a fun ride, just, from the outside looking in and just from talking to you a few times, and it's been awesome.
Thank you. You've been a good part of it, and you've been one of my number one cheerleaders.
Yay! So go, Lenora! Go, Lenora! All right, well, give us a kick-ass tip before I let you go. A kick-ass tip for anything you want. Writing a book, magical living, creating the kick-ass life of your dreams, anything.
Gather up your courage and take a running leap and jump off the cliff. Do it.
Perfect.
Do it. Just do it.
Yay! Much love, Lenora.
Thank you, Joe.
Peace.
Peace.